What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Devy Royale YouTube channel. I am your host, as always, Kevin Coleman at TheBoys_22, and we are back with another edition of Freshman Focus, looking at some of the best freshmen in college football this season. And our first one is Evan Stewart from Texas A&M. Evan is a guy that we have had ranked, or me and Christian have had ranked on this show as the wide receiver one of the 2025 class, and that was ahead of Luther Burden. We have stood fast, and you know what? He's making us look pretty smart right now. He is a very, very, very solid wide receiver who's been dealing with a bunch of pretty bad quarterback play, if you could say. I don't know if you guys have seen Haynes King throw the ball, but been struggling a little bit there. And then from just an offensive perspective, like he struggled a little bit. He had some trouble, but hey, he has looked very good this season. And so what we do as this show, like always, is we're going to look at, hey, overall stats. What did we to see some positives out of him scouting wise, some negatives, watch a little bit of a film, and look at his outlook. So if we just take a look at what he's done this season, 26 receptions, 303 yards, and a touchdown. And when you're looking at it, like, he's been up and down. Obviously, when you're looking at what he's been able to do, he didn't get to play against Miami because he's got in trouble with his coach. So we've seen that. We've seen this Texas A&M team not be very good this season. But against Alabama, he kind of shown out. And when you look at your best players and what do they play against the best opponents? How do they play? And he had 8 catches, 106 yards, and they almost had a touchdown at the end. Obviously, it was a really bad play call there, but he looked phenomenal. Down the stretch, it was basically, we're going to throw Evan Stewart the ball, and he's going to make us look good. And we're going to pray and throw it up and heave. And that's the thing you like to see from him. Remember, out of high school, this kid was one of the best wide receivers in the class. Wide receiver 2 of the class in Texas. He was the fourth-ranked recruit there. He had a 247 sports composite score of 99.40. So basically, really, really good. You saw his combine, everything there, his 100-meter speed, everything that he did there. He came to Texas A&M with very high, standing in terms of like the recruiting services. And then you're looking at it from like, okay, what is he going to do? Step in. And he's been very good. When we're talking about him as a receiver in his class, he is up there. Now, let's talk about what he does really, really well. First, body control. So one thing that you like to see, and he has this athleticism. He had it in high school. He had that. He has this body control. He's able to manipulate his body, get in and out of angles, and you like to see that. 50-50 balls, especially against Alabama, which you saw. He can do that. So his body control is elite. Like his ability to kind of manipulate defenders, get him to where he's going, go up and get it, and just able to make amazing catches, cross his front, over on the sideline. You'll see that. You're going to see him be able to get his feet down. Like he has the body control of a receiver that you like to see. He had one catch, they called it in the Alabama game in the end zone. That should have been, if he could have got his foot down, it would have been one of the best plays in college football. And the fact that he even had a chance to get his foot down shows you that elite body control, elite skill that he has. The next part is his athleticism. So when you're looking at his athleticism, that was always on display. In high school, he was one of the best hyper-athletic bills that you got to see. He was an amazing medalist when you're looking at it from track and field. He had a 21.08 and 200. Then you look at all the events that he did. He did the long jump, triple jump. He did relays. Like he was legit. He's capable of lining up outside or in the slot when he's looking at athleticism. But he was one of the best athletes to come out of high school. So you're talking about athlete plus great football player, right? And I think when you look at it too, his athleticism combined with that vertical threat, he has it. Like you watch the tape. So I went through and went over the all 22 this weekend. And so when I do my process, all 22, so I can see the routes, everything there, then I'm going to show you kind of his game highlights as we go through it. When I was marking my process and my film grades, man, he was open. He was getting open over and over and over again, and especially vertically, just quarterbacks couldn't get it to him. Like there was plenty of times like he just didn't get the look and he was there. Like his numbers could be even better, even though they are good. They could be even better if the quarterback and with the offensive system is looking his way, because he's getting open vertically. He can stretch the field, man. He can leverage the DBs and get open the open field. And when he gets in the open field, man, he's yak guy all the way. So that's what you like to see about him. He can get open, and then they get the ball in open spaces too. When he does that and they get it to him, he's a special receiver. Now, if we're looking at like, okay, what can he improve on? Because I don't like to say weaknesses because these dudes are all great. But weaknesses in terms of like, what can they improve on? Frame. Obviously, his frame is going to be something that he's going to have to work on. 5'11", 170 is what he's listed at. I don't know necessarily. Colleges like to bump it up, bump it out. So you'd like to see him get a little stronger. Now, we will say, like, his frame kind of leads into that bottom one, but press coverage. There are times when he's getting pressed that he can get off his route, and you'll see this. And so that's something to improve. Now, he's got really good footwork. So when you're looking at it, like, and you see kind of what he does. He's able to get open because his footwork's so quick. He's able to get that good release. He's got an elite release. I think sometimes, though, he can get bumped off his route by bigger defenders. And I think, but the caveat to this is Alabama tried this, and Alabama did kind of do this in certain instances, but his release and his feet were so quick. I think that's what you're looking at. And then the last one is production. So when you're looking at his production here, he hasn't had that yet. So when you're looking at production overall, 303 yards and just a touchdown this year. So that's going to be a problem. But overall, like those are the things that you like to see from him. Now, if we're watching the tape, and we're just going to get the tape on and what we see from him, we're going to be looking at a couple of games from him. So first one, we're going to look at the Arkansas game because not a ton of tape on him there. And you'll see this, the bad quarterback play. I mean, you're going to notice it here with Haynes. He gets in the outside. Now, you'll see his release on the bottom there. Gets it open, goes to the cross middle. Just a terrible throw all together. Again, quick release, getting open. This was just I'm going to pray. You'll watch him play. You're going to watch him do all these things in these games. One of the huck and pray is like Haynes's and Johnson when he was in there, just the way they played. And you'll see it here, just throwing it up. Let me go make Evan Stewart make a play. And I think that's the biggest thing. Again, over the middle. When he gets in these situations and he's able to catch it over the middle and get that yak ability, those are the things that you like to see from him as a receiver. Good release here again. Now, this is the other area that we were working on. So when I looked at weaknesses, so you'll see it here, kind of going over the middle, getting that. He's getting pressed here. Now, he gets off the line kind of, but he bumps him off his route a little bit. Now, there's probably a little bit of a hold there. So I think the one area that you got to talk about is his physicality, right? Like a little bit of a hold. Gets it here. He gets open, but then you'll see it. Like when you're watching this tape over and over, and I didn't cut them all up, there are times where, damn it, you wish that he could kind of leverage his defender and get that open ability off of the line. But he is improving. You'll see it. This is where his athleticism comes into play. Like he's just gonna get up and go get it. Like these are the type of plays that you like to see. Now against Arkansas again, here it is coming back in the end zone. Could have almost had this catch, and you'll see it. Now, against Alabama, a better opponent, right? So they try to get him out in space here, and you'll notice it here. He's got good speed, good athleticism, gets to the outside, kind of there. Poor assistant, Devontae Adams light. Again, you'll see it here. Haynes just throws it up. Johnson and Haynes, like we've seen, just goes up and gets it. So he makes this play. He does what's good for a receiver. He's able to go up and make that play for his quarterback, make him look good. Again, what are we doing here? Just throwing it up, but hey, Stewart's able to come down with it and do these things. Like he's special in that way. If he had better quarterback play, we could be talking about Stewart as being one of the best wide receivers in college football. Getting up, going and taking it, getting from his defenders. Like he looked great. And if you watch the game overall, when you're watching the overall tape, you can just see what he was able to do against Alabama. Now, his outlook. So let's talk about where he's at. For us, when we're talking about where he's at and where he's located right now, he's wide receiver 1 in the rankings. He's a 2025 class wide receiver 1. 100%, no questions about it, in my opinion. I think Luther is there, Luther Burden from Missouri, but there's question marks about where Luther's going to be. So if you're talking about like overall, hey, there, other guys are jumping in, he's really kind of ascended himself into that wide receiver 1 territory with Luther. They're going to be battling back and forth. It's going to be a fun little battle. But overall with Texas A&M, man, I don't know. They got to get better quarterback play. They know that. Connor Weeman's going to be starting this. I'm probably going to be starting in the next 2 weeks. What is the true freshman 5-star recruit have, the quarterback there? Can he kind of step up and do those things? Evan needs it because he needs just better quarterback play. If this offense could be just a little bit better, he could be one of the most special playmaking wide receivers in college. He probably already is one of the best wide receivers, just from an athletic standpoint. But can he get that production? I think that's the key. Like I put on his weaknesses in terms of he didn't play. He opted out his senior year after 3 games. Hasn't had that production like you got to see. We want to see him produce, hit that breakout age, hit that dominator rating for our analytics people out there, and kind of take that next step. So I appreciate you guys tuning in as always. Hey, if you like the channel, if you like the content, please hit that like and subscribe button. You can find it underneath in the description box. We have a Patreon that has a ton of content. We have Patreon-only episodes. We have a Devy Manifesto for college football. If you love college football, over 250 pages of content, rankings, all of that. Even if you're not into just Devy or fantasy football, if you're just into college football, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We got a bunch of stuff coming to you. We're really excited where we're heading right now. If you haven't checked us out, we just got picked up by Football Guys to do a college football weekly show. So go check out Football Guys, like and subscribe to their channel too. So we're bringing college football to you guys. So we appreciate you guys. Until next time, see you later.